Today we're going to talk about color theory. Color, value, tint, shade, and composition. Color theory is the way that colors react together and allows you to understand their use while making a piece of art. Please open up your portfolios and get out a new piece of paper. I'd like you to write down each of these definitions and keep them handy while we're talking about the theory of color. Color, an element of art made up of three properties: hue, value, and intensity. Value, the lightness or darkness of tones or colors. Tint, any color mixed with white. Shade, any color mixed with black. Composition, the way that things are put together in a piece of art. Your first task is to choose a color. Once you've chosen the color you'd like to use throughout the project, you need to create a value study of mixing that color with white until you have faded that color into as light as it possibly will go. You're creating a tint and a background painting as a background for your composition. The next step of this project will be creating a type of stencil out of tape. You'll be laying down the tape and using your true value, your original color, and painting inside of the tape. Wherever the tape is not, your original color will show through and be painted over your value study. Please make sure that your tape is long enough to be put on the table so your paper does not slide around. Keep in mind that composition is very important and you want your eye to move around the paper. Continue to play around with the composition and the different types of lines the tape can create. You can get an organic line by ripping the tape, or you can get a straight edge by not ripping the tape. It can give you any type of shape that you desire. This is an example of bleeders. Bleeders are an aesthetic choice where if you press down the tape really well, you will not get the paint bleeding under the tape, but if you go lighter on the tape and don't mind an element of surprise, then you will get bleeders. It is totally up to you whether you make this aesthetic choice. Your next task is to create a stenciled area by using a shade. A shade is mixing your original color with a little bit of black, not in order to overpower the color, but just to darken it. At this point, I also want you to try and use the other type of line. You've either been using straight line or organic line, so try to incorporate the opposite type of line than you've been used to using. This is an example of a final product. In order to get full credit, you need to incorporate your original value, which is your original color, a shade of that color, a tint, a crisp line, and an organic line. Remember that you want to have an interesting composition as well.